I'm a PNG tuber now. What are you gonna do about it? Hey everyone, this is Convexity. I'm finally doing some tutorial videos, and saying this one was highly requested would be an understatement. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make weird snares that sound like this. Or this. Or this. Or this.
Oh, that snare! Are you joking?
You get the idea. Alright, let's go. So in order to make your snares, you need a couple of layers. A transient layer for the initial impact, and a body layer for the sound of the snare itself. Since these snares are a bit silly anyway, we're going to use this sample as our transient layer. Let's chop this down to where it's only a teeny little click. And then we'll crank up the pitch till we have something like this. For our body layer, we're going to take an instance of Serum. You can do pretty much anything you want really, but what I'm going to do is take a couple of sine oscillators and make them an octave apart, and then I'm going to make two separate MIDI clips with different notes, and then space them out to taste. It kind of ends up creating this flam effect that I really like to do. And honestly, that's really all there is to it for the basic sound. Now obviously you can replace both of these with anything you want. For example, you could use another meme sample for your body layer, or you could resample something. The possibilities are practically endless, so this is just meant to be a starting point for you. Next, let's group these together, and now that we have the basic sound, let's play around with some of the possibilities of post-processing. First, to give it more punch, I'm going to grab Kilohertz Transient Shaper and turn up the attack. And then since it's a short snare, I'm going to turn up the speed as well, so it's only affecting the transient. Obviously, you could also just put Transient Shaper on only the transient layer if you wanted to, but I like to do post-processing on the whole group because I'm trying to make one cohesive sound. Alternatively, something you could try out is Mr. Bill's new Slap plugin, which I grabbed recently and absolutely love. Slap can actually let you change the sound of the transient entirely. And besides that, you can mess with the shape of the sound in different ways. What I like to do personally in this plugin is turn off everything else and mess with these snap and tight knobs. We could also try out some Disperser to see how it affects our transient. I have this rack of 10 dispersers that I made. It's literally just chaining 10 dispersers together to get a lot of control over that laser sound. But obviously this is overkill. The next step that I would personally take with this sound is a bit of OTT. Turn the output to about 13 dB, the time all the way to 1000% to avoid artifacts, and the amount to 70%, and you get a much more fleshed out sound. Next, we can obviously see this snare is redlining to oblivion, so let's clip it with a free clip or any other clipper you like, and we'll keep everything default on hard clip. Lastly, EQ of course. This is a bit of an interesting thing that I do. I like to put linear phase EQ after a clipper and not before, so I get more control over the low artifacts of a compressed sound. The linear phase EQ prevents a lot of the gain that a regular EQ causes because, in layman's terms, it works differently for a more clean sound at the cost of a few milliseconds of latency. You can find other videos that most likely explain the technology of it better than I do. I'm going to use Pro Q3 and switch it to linear phase, and then cut everything below the fundamental, or the lowest, most prominent note of my snare. Notice the difference in level between our regular zero latency EQ and our linear phase EQ. Linear phase after a clipper gives us so much more control over those low artifacts at minimal loudness cost. This combo is great for if you want something super loud with minimal artifacts. We can now put a utility after this and open up the faders and see how much exactly we're clipping by now, and then turn it down accordingly. And for good measure, one more clipper afterwards so it stays absolutely under 0 since it seems to vary a little bit here. And that's really about it. A very nice, cool, customizable sound and process that you can do yourself. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more tutorials and music. See you later!